Well, of course, the AGOA Forum was one of the key business events to take place in this week, starting on Thursday, and really some of the key talking points were around ensuring that the Act is enhanced to not only include more sectors but also benefit a diverse set of businesses. And I am now joined in studio by the CEO of engineering firm Dynamic Fluid Control, and that is Tumi Tsehlo. Thank you so much for talking to us. Now, the AGOA Forum, a lot was taking place this week and businesses are exhibiting. You were one of those businesses. Just talk us through how you found yourself, or first actually tell us about your business and how you found yourself as a beneficiary of AGOA.
So Dynamic Fluid Control is a business based out of Benoni, but we also have operations in 4 other countries: United States, Brazil, Australia, and Finland. And probably about 50% of our revenue is derived from outside of South Africa. The relevance for AGOA for us is quite strong. You know, with the U.S. market, we basically enter the entire North American market through our exports from Benoni through the AGOA program. You know, those sales are done through our American business.
And I see that, you know, all your markets are international markets, and some of the argument that I've met for manufacturers in South Africa is that the South African market is rather small. So did AGOA then help, you know, open up those markets, or were those markets already in existence for the company?
I mean, AGOA is, 23 years old. We've been in the business for the last 4 years. So we bought this business 4 years ago. The advantage of AGOA, we've always tapped into it for as long as we've been in the business. It is definitely something that has given us an advantage over the you know, since it's been in existence. But also since we have been in the company, we've definitely made sure that it is something that we continue to break into quite strongly. The U.S. market is the biggest market in the world. As you point out, you know, it's many times the size of the South African economy, and the buying power is just so large. There is just it would be foolhardy for us not to see that as a major area of growth for our business. And even especially in the current economic climate where South Africa is growing slowly, other markets, Europe is also got a lot of challenges with, you know, it's not growing as fast as it should. The U.S. is experiencing a robust economy. And offers huge opportunities for a business like ours to just, with the level of diversity that we've got in our business, when all our other markets are not doing so well, the United States, the way it's doing now, it is just opportune, it is just ideal for us to be positioned the way we are.
And give us insights into the kind of products that you do export. And are those geopolitical tensions we've been hearing throughout the week, you know, that's a threat to AGOA, while South Africa is, you know, kind of remaining on its sovereign stance. Do those geopolitical tensions affect business at all? I think they take time to trickle in. They do have an impact. I mean, when the war in Ukraine started, we saw an immediate impact on us. The sanctions that you know, were imposed by the Western countries hit us immediately. So geopolitics definitely plays a direct role in business. However, I'm a firm believer that eventually economics trumps politics. It is just, you know, just a sense of optimism that I have about the situation, whether it would be, you know, the debate around our stance with Russia or our stance with the Palestinian conflict and so on.
We have seen our politicians here being proactive in addressing the conversations and clarifying what the position is for South Africa. And as a result of those efforts, we have seen that the discussions around AGOA between South Africa and the US seem to be back on track. It's a risk, obviously, but it is a risk that is clearly very actively managed by our government. We can't take it for granted that those risks are not there. But generally, I think we will prevail. Economics will trump politics, and we'll continue to trade.
Yeah.
That market is just too important. We cannot allow ourselves to be kicked out of it.
That market.
Yeah.
And just perhaps, Tumi, to talk to other business owners, you did highlight that you bought over the business 4 years ago. Just how to leverage of such initiatives. How do you get yourself to even be a business that can benefit from AGOA, but also other agreements such as the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, and how to filter that into your strategy to really realize the full benefits?
I think it's important to realize that those agreements are there for all business to take advantage of, but you have to first be successful in your home market. You first have to be a good business before you can be a good business that exports.
So you can't leapfrog.
You cannot just leapfrog, right? So you have to focus on doing the basics right. Be a good business, establish your base market. Start a business. You cannot start a business in order to take advantage of AGOA. You have to be set up, have a business that is running well, and on the back of a business that's operating very well, look at how do you take advantage of those opportunities. So a small business will be at slight disadvantage just to leapfrog and take advantage of these agreements. You have to focus on the basics, do the basics well. That puts you in a good position to then, take advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah, and we've heard, the likes of Minister Abraham Patel, even the President himself, that call of not only additional extension, more than the 5 years, actually calling for 10 to 20 years to enhance, AGOA and those benefits. What would that enhancement for you as someone in business who is currently benefiting from AGOA, what would that enhancement look like to you?
Certainty. It will bring a sense of certainty to our operating environment. We will know that at least for the next 10 years, or 20 years for that matter, this is a regime under which we will continue to operate without getting into the sort of conversations that we are, with the looming expiry that's coming up in 2025, now having to worry about could we be out of this market in 2 years' time. That's the main benefit of having a longer agreement as opposed to a shorter one. But it's in the hands of the Americans at the end of the day. They, will listen to what we have to say. With the longevity that it has had, 23 years so far, and the bipartisan support that we've seen that both Republican and Democrat presidents in the United States have supported it, it is very likely that it is something that should continue over the long term. But if it's 10 years, it confirms that sense of optimism that this is something that we've got for the long term. Yeah.
Well, Tumi, thank you so much for coming into studio and just giving us those insights, and hopefully other business owners who are looking to leverage off such initiatives were taking a listen, that it's about actually having that solid business before you look to take advantage of those opportunities.